Reshoring is supply chain flexibility. More e-commerce brands are rethinking global sourcing and moving parts of their production back to the US to gain speed, control, and flexibility amid tariffs and global uncertainty. Walmart is leading this push through its $350 billion domestic sourcing initiative, proving that reshoring can strengthen both supply chains and brand trust. For Amazon sellers, reshoring offers shorter lead times, better quality control, and stronger made in the USA appeal. Key advantages when competing in fast shipping and authenticity. Balancing domestic production with selective global sourcing could become a strategic edge for sellers facing rising tariffs and volatile import costs.
Yeah.
Do you have any experience in this world, Eric, with sourcing and such and helping people source?
Yeah, 100%. So we had 3 or 4 private label brands that we built, one in the baby space, one in the kitchen space, and they were originally all manufactured in China. And about 3 years ago, maybe 4 years ago now, we found a manufacturer that could produce it for a very small percentage increase to get it manufactured right in upstate New York. So we were like, you know what? It's worth the additional 3-4% to get it manufactured in the States. And this is prior to all these tariff shifts. And thank God we did it prior, because I mean, your average tariff right now, you're looking at some even above 20%. So that's a huge increase in cost to these brands. And when you're building a brand, you need to keep every dollar possible. So I think it's a huge play. And I would be looking, if I had manufacturing overseas, especially in some of these high cost tariff countries, I would be immediately looking to get it manufactured in the US, or at least in a lower tariff country.
Yeah, for sure. I would agree with all of that. Not everything can be manufactured in the USA cost effectively, but many things can. And if not in the USA, maybe India or some other lower tariff country, although all that's kind of shifting and stuff, which I don't really like that it keeps shifting all over the place. I think we need to be more consistent with the tariff numbers, whatever we set it at, and keep it there so people can plan. But I don't see this going away with tariffs on China anyways anytime soon. I think the tariffs there are here to stay. Even when Trump is out of office, the previous time that Trump was in office, he put tariffs on China. Biden did not remove them. He left them in place. So I would predict that the same kind of thing would happen with whoever the next president is as well.
Yeah, I agree. And I like that it highlights being selective with these decisions. Like, you don't have to get every single SKU you create, switch to US manufacturing or another country's manufacturing. And you don't even have to get every component switched. Like, maybe if it's an electronic, you just want to get the electronic part manufactured from China and assemble it somewhere else. So I think it really highlights that. And I think it's an important thing, because they're not like fear mongering us like, hey, manufacture everything in the US. They're saying run the numbers and make educated decisions on what you should be doing.
Yeah. Again, run a business, right?
Yeah.
Run a business. We were talking about. PRP says that India now has a 50% tariffs, which I believe is correct. And that's what I was talking about. That's driving me crazy, like with all the changes. The 50% tariffs on India right now are due to their support of or buying oil and stuff from Russia, I believe. So Trump is trying to stop that. So it'd be nice if all this could kind of settle out so you can make decisions. But I would not anticipate India staying that high. India is more of a democratic country, and we've been friends with them for a long time. So unless something really crazy happens, I would see those tariffs eventually going away, especially once the Ukraine war gets wrapped up.
Yeah. And I think Trump still needs to manipulate the stock market more to make billions of dollars for him and his buddies before we see a level out on these tariff negotiations.
Yeah. I wouldn't put it past him. That's for sure. He does a lot of good stuff and a lot of stuff that drives me crazy. So it all depends. I like to always say, if somebody asks me if I like Trump, I usually say it depends on the minute.
Yeah. Yeah.
It shifts that quickly sometimes. All right. So I don't particularly bring a lot of products in from overseas, but a lot of the suppliers that I work with do. And they've definitely been struggling with the tariffs and stuff because they get a lot of their stuff from China. So they've been working on shifting them. The problem with suppliers or manufacturers in the United States is that they are much more difficult to get a hold of
Yes.
than in China because there's not like an Alibaba platform for the United States. And I find a lot of these companies in the United States are looking for, giant contracts and stuff.
Yeah.
They don't want to do 500 units or 1,000 units. They're
Yeah.
looking at 10,000 or 100,000 units kind of things.
This is true. This is true. The people in China, those manufacturers are fighting for business, so they're willing to negotiate low MOQs. I agree with that, 1,000%.
Yeah. So that'll be something be interesting to watch if that shifts at all in the United States as it becomes more commonplace for people to source from the United States and these other countries, if they will get more platforms and stuff that are targeting the USA and India and Mexico and things like that to make it easier, and if these manufacturers will open up to the smaller orders or not.
Yep. Yep.
All depends on if it's profitable or not for them to do it. It may not be profitable for them to do 500 units in the United States.
Yeah. Once again, they're running a business, so they're running the numbers and saying, "Hey, this doesn't make sense for us."
Yep, exactly.